What if I told you that listening to a particular song will help you manifest your ex back? Because I want you to look at this client's testimonial. Now, if you observe, she was able to manifest her ex back. Not like she's dating him or anything. She wanted to just try it out to see if this technique even works. And I helped her because in my high value love identity program, I don't keep things structured. The 50% of the program is structured, but the rest 50% is based upon my client's needs and what do they want to do. So I just go along and give them certain techniques that fits their needs. Now, if she would have said that she wanted to manifest her ex back, I would have refused her in the free mini therapy session. But she actually wanted to heal first. So the technique that she's talking about is an 8-year technique. More on that a bit later, and I'm going to explain to you how this 8-year technique even works. And you can make up your own manifestation technique if you understand the science behind that. Now, more on that later, but the first thing I want you to understand is a lot of the people spend so much time trying to visualize something in the future and then they try to manifest that. Now, in my world, that is a B-tier technique. Why would I classify that as B-tier? You see, for that, you need to understand you're visualizing something in the future so that you can trick your subconscious mind into believing that it has already happened, and your subconscious mind can generate an emotional state or a neurological state. And the more stronger that emotional state or neurological state gets, the easier it is to attract that into your reality. Because whatever we feel inside is what we attract in our reality, and that is true. Now, with experience, I can tell you this is the B-tier technique. The reason being, you're trying to trick your subconscious mind. So it's going to take a lot of time. However, what if I told you that the feeling that you're trying to create with your visualization is something that you have already felt previously in your life? Now, that brings us to the 8-year technique that she's talking about. Now, what she's talking about is that she started listening to a song. Now, beware that she is someone who has already worked on S-tier technique and she has removed all her resistance. More on that a bit later, but first I want you to understand what this technique is. You see, the emotions that you have already experienced in your life, you don't have to trick your subconscious mind to feel those emotions, right? Because all you have to do is trigger the old feeling back. Like if you observe, if you listen to a song, it often reminds you of the time when you first heard that song, right? So in her case, she wanted to try this experiment of trying to manifest her ex back. Now, she's not together with her partner. She just wanted to try it out. And there he is liking her post on Instagram. Now, what I want you to understand is all I did was I explained to her that I want you to tap into the feeling that you had right before this guy walked into your life. So the way I asked her was, I want you to remember that time right before he walked into your life. And she started remembering. And I was like, okay, now here is something. We can do this through 5 different ways because our subconscious mind triggers any kind of neurological state through our 5 senses. Sometimes even a smell reminds us of a particular time. So you can use your smell as a way to manifest something. But in her case, I told her, what if you start listening to the songs that you were listening right before this guy walked into your life? Because that's something that would trigger the neurological state or the emotional state that actually attracted this guy before. So it has already worked. So she went to her Spotify. She found out certain songs that she was listening right before this guy actually walked into her life. And she was listening to all these songs throughout her relationship. So I asked her to start listening to these songs. She started listening to these songs, and 5 days later, there shows up her ex, liking her post on Instagram. Now, she was surprised and she came to me and she was like, it worked. But understand something very important. While she's using an 8-year technique, she has already done the S-tier technique. Now, what is the S-tier technique? Now, let's talk about S-tier technique. Now, in my world, the S-tier technique is by far the most superior way of manifesting anything. You see, your subconscious mind is a manifestation machine. It attracts whatever it resonates with. However, a lot of the things that it resonates with originate from our childhood experiences, ideally between the ages of 1 to 9, that creates a lot of resistance. So I want you to think of your subconscious mind as a fighter jet. Now, this fighter jet can manifest anything. However, I want you to think of resistance as an anchor that has been put on this fighter jet. Now, no matter what technique you are using, you're trying to drag this resistance with you. So even though if you start flying, the resistance is still pulling you down. So in my world, what I tend to do is I focus mostly on the resistance. And if we can cut off this resistance, we can free this fighter jet from the anchor and the resistance, and it will just fly. That's where we need to understand healing our childhood traumas, our childhood limiting beliefs, and our relationship with our parents. These are the factors that are critical to manifestation. So what I tend to do is I tend to focus on removing the resistance. Now, removing the resistance helps people manifest easily, because remember, the negative neurological state or emotional state has more value for your subconscious mind as compared to the positive neurological state. That is because of the survival protocol. Now, that in itself is a very big concept. We will address that in a separate video. But what you need to understand right now is the negative emotional states will start pulling you down and start making your manifestation harder and harder. So you need to, first of all, remove the negative neurological state or the emotional state, and that will manifest things easily into your life. That's why once she was done with the S-tier technique, that is removing the resistance, now she's using an A-tier technique and it is actually working for her. Now, if you are someone who's wondering, how do you remove resistance? Now, this is where I would like you to try my free premium course on instant heartbreak healing mastery. Now, in this 90-minute course, I teach you the modalities of your subconscious mind, how your subconscious mind functions, and how you can remove a heartbreak in less than 3 to 4 minutes of using instant healing hypnosis. And there is a hypnosis included in this training course. All you have to do is just follow the instructions, and you will observe that you can use the technique that I have taught in this course on any negative neurological state, and it will completely free you from that negative neurological state. And that is what we call killing off resistance. The moment you kill off the resistance, your manifestations will come true sooner than later. That is how your subconscious mind works. So give it a try. And I want you to start focusing on understanding that all the techniques of manifestations can work if you understand how your subconscious mind functions. It is the emotional part. That is, if you can feel a particular emotion, you can attract it. So you can think of anything that will make you recall an emotional state, and the more you stay in that emotional state, you will attract that into your reality. However, you need to work on removing the resistance first, because if you remove the resistance, it cuts short the time. That's how your subconscious mind works. I hope that this video helps you understand how powerful your subconscious mind is and how you can work with that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Up until then, stay happy, stay blessed, and do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.